Graphing linear inequalities using interval notation. So you have the inequalities less than, greater than, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. And the solving of them follows much the same rules as if you were solving just a regular equation. So if we had x minus 3 equals 0, to solve for x, we would add the 3 to the other side, and we would have x equals 3. But with an inequality, if we have x minus 3 is less than 0, we still would do that, add the 3 to the other side, and we have x is less than 3. So it's the same thing there. The only difference comes in when you're dealing with negatives and multiplication. So if we have negative 2x equals 20, we would divide the negative 2 out, and we would have x equals negative 10. But over here, if we have negative 2x, this is a different set of problems, so negative 2x is less than 20. You divide the negative 2 out, and you get x. You flip that sign, is greater than negative 10. So when you are multiplying or dividing by a negative number, you need to flip that sign. Whether if it's a less than, you change it into a greater than. If it's a greater than, you change it into a less than. Whichever way it goes. And that's only for multiplying and dividing with negative numbers. Other than that, solving inequalities is the same thing as if you were solving equalities. So the sign doesn't make any difference. You just carry that same sign forward unless you're dividing or multiplying by a negative number. Now when you go to graph these, so we have these two that we want to graph. You have your number line, keeps going in each direction. You have 0 somewhere on that number line. And then you find the number you're looking for. There's my 3. And now I want to say that it is less than 3. So which way do I want it to go? Left or right? Compare it to 0. That's an easy way of figuring this out, which way you want it to go. Is 0 less than 3? Yes. So because 0 is less than 3, we will draw our line in the direction towards 0. The other thing we have to figure out with this is, are we going to use open circles or closed circles? Or if you prefer, we can use parentheses and brackets. So the first one I'm going to do here is going to use the circles. It does not have an equal to sign on it, so it's going to be an open circle, dot, without anything inside of it. And that is the answer. Otherwise, same problem. If we are using our parentheses and brackets, we still find our 0, we still find 3, and we say that it does not have its equal to sign part on it, so we are going to use a round parentheses. And we still have the arrow going out to the side. So the meanings of these, the open dot and the round parentheses, both mean that it does not actually equal that number. You do not have an equal to part on your inequality. So open dot or round parentheses. Do not equal. So then the other options are closed dot and square bracket. So close dot. That looks like that. Or square bracket. Those are the squared off ones like that. Mean it does equal. Or it can equal. Not necessarily that it has to equal, just that it could possibly equal. But in both of these examples, we don't have that extra bar there, so we don't want to use this stuff. Going down to my bottom example here, I have negative 2x is less than 20. I solved it, and I came up with x is greater than negative 10. So I'm going to have my number line. I'm going to have a 0 somewhere on my number line. And then I'm going to count back. And I get to negative 10. And x is going to be greater than that. So I have to figure out, do I go to the right or do I go to the left? So again, I'm going to use 0 to compare this. So I have 0 is greater than negative 10. And I'm asking myself about that. Is that a true statement down there? Yes, it is. So I am going to draw my line from the negative 10 out towards the 0. If it were not true, we'd draw it the other direction. Now I have to figure out what symbol am I going to use here. Am I going to use my parentheses or my brackets? Am I going to use my dot? Is it going to be open or closed? So I'm going to do it both with parentheses, brackets, and with dots. So we have 0, we have negative 10. First, what I'm going to do with the dots, it does not equal. There's no equal to sign there. So I put an open dot. And if it helps for your teacher to figure out what you're talking about, me, then write open dot. That way there's no confusion over whether that's supposed to be a filled in dot or an open empty dot. Down here with the parentheses and brackets, again, we know that it's going to be going out towards 0. Forgot my arrows. We know that it does not equal, so we go for the round parentheses do not equal. And there is that. And then the other thing we have to do is write these in, what is the notation called? Interval notation. So with interval notation, let me erase my work there and my little bit of work there. That's going to involve parentheses and brackets and maybe infinities. So this is a one-sided one. It says it has a number on only one side of the letter, as opposed to a two-sided one, which would have numbers on the other side also. So this one's going to have an infinity. Whether it's positive or negative, that we have to figure out. So we know that x is less than 3. We found out that this is going over and over and over, all the way to negative infinity. So negative infinity is going to be our smallest number. And you can never actually reach infinity. So infinity always gets the round parentheses. And then from infinity, we go up to 3. We see that it does not equal 3, so it gets the round parentheses. And then looking at the bottom down here, Our x is greater than negative 10, so we had to figure out left or right. So we were figuring out when we come here, the first time we see our line, the first time we see the equation thing, it's going to be at negative 10. So negative 10 is the smallest number. So I have my negative 10 first. We figured out that it does not actually equal at negative 10. It got the round parentheses. So I'm going to put that with the negative 10. And then it goes up to, what is the highest number it can go up to? Well, we said it keeps going and going and going and going. So that's going to be positive infinity. So let's see if I can write a positive infinity sign. Yeah, it's reasonable. And infinity always gets the round parentheses.